Alright guys, what's up? It's the Penguin Boy here, back with the update, a rant, and whatever you want to call this video. I'm gonna be discussing my problems with Mortal Kombat 11, and personally why I am stopping the game. Why I'm not gonna be making Mortal Kombat content anymore, and I'm gonna make like Zelda, Mario content, like the stuff I've loved since a child, and I've always loved. So, yeah, all we're gonna be doing all I'm discussing in this video are the things that I don't like about Mortal Kombat 11, and I'm not gonna be doing personal opinions like I don't like this certain character. I'm discussing problems for me that are actually problems, things that ruin the experience. I just want to say Mortal Kombat 11 is a great game. I definitely recommend the game. You should buy it if you haven't got it already. But I'm discussing my thoughts. So the biggest problem with me, and when it comes to a game, I want a good amount of content. So while I do want to compare this to Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, I shouldn't, because they're way different games. So let's compare it to Mortal Kombat 9. What's the roster in Mortal Kombat 9? 27 characters, the base roster. The base roster is 27 characters, okay? Decent, I guess, and it's pretty balanced. It's the Mortal Kombat 1 through trilogy roster, I'm pretty sure, or 2 Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Great roster, that's good. What else do we get? A story mode that is really, really long. It's definitely the longest story mode, like that's for one campaign. Mortal Kombat 11 does have 2 different campaigns, but we'll get to that later. So, yeah, that's the longest campaign, and we get a bunch of game modes. We get Tag Team, we get Test Your Might, we get Test Your Sight, we get a few others, forgot. The online isn't the best, but we have online, which is good. And the final thing is the amount of maps. We get a good amount of maps, and I love the content of maps in the game. The amount of maps we get are fantastic. So now that I'm comparing this to Mortal Kombat 11, I want to say one more thing. The DLC in MK9. The DLC just doesn't feel necessary in sense it's good, but you don't need to have the DLC in order to feel like you have the complete game. It's only 4 different characters. I don't know the price for the DLC for that game because I just don't know, but the DLC, it's, 4 different characters. You can buy it if you want to, but if you don't want the characters, you don't need to. Your game still feels complete. You got a good amount of characters, good amount of maps, even though they only come with 4 characters still. You already have enough content in the game where you're satisfied. You don't need to buy more. So now that even though I said I'm comparing this to MK11, let's talk about Mortal Kombat X as well. So MK9 feels complete from the start. With MKX, I would sort of disagree with it's all complete, but I do see why it starts off complete. I still feel, yet I don't feel like it's complete from start. So I'm going to be discussing the reasons why it probably is complete. So let's start off. We get 24 rosters plus 25 if you pre-ordered the game. I'm going to just count 25 as the start. 25 characters. 25 times 3, which is 75. Why did I do that exactly? Because you get variations for each character. Each character has 3 different variations, and the thing about the variations in MKX is that for most characters, each one feels different. Like with Scorpion, if you're a ninjutsu main, and then you do Hidden Crystal Random Select and you get Inferno, you're gonna be having a tough time if you've never used Inferno. You can't just be like, oh, it's Scorpion, I can use him easily. And let's take other characters, like Johnny Cage and all of them, Reptile, you can deal with no matter which variation you choose. But MKX, while the roster may seem kind of small, if you actually look into it, it's a pretty big roster, not gonna lie. Like, you get extra variations and all that. Now let's start the story mode. Story mode is pretty, shortish, 4 or 5 hours you can beat it. Not bad, still decent. Then you get the game modes, Test Your Might, Test Your Luck, and you get a few online modes. You got that 3 versus 3, 5 versus 5, Test Your Luck online. And then you have the Crypt. I forgot to mention that in MK9. Same about MKX, you have the Crypt. So overall, decent amount of content. And there's not too many microtransactions. There are microtransactions, but it doesn't feel necessary. Same with MK9. So after you get the DLC for MKX, now someone like me who got MKXL and has already had the DLC, seeing the roster without the DLC does feel sort of incomplete. But honestly, other than the roster just kind of saying, okay, looks like it feels incomplete, it's not that bad either. Like, you get a decent amount of variations, and while I would say it feels more complete with the DLC, it's still good. I'd say the base game is complete. You can just go get Mortal Kombat X without getting XL right now and be perfectly happy. So, yeah, those 2 games, like I just said now, they feel pretty complete from the start. Maybe not MKX is pretty complete. They're decently complete. While MKX has less maps, it has a good amount of maps for you to feel satisfied. But both of them, let's keep in mind, when the full DLC came out, they had 1 complete edition. Both games had 1 complete edition. Now it's time to move on to Mortal Kombat 11. So I got Mortal Kombat 11 like a month after release, a month and a half after release, and as much as I enjoyed the game when I first got it, and even today it's still kind of fun, I was just noticing how much of a mess it was. The game didn't even know what it was doing. So let me discuss the content, alright? We get 25 characters, and while we do have variations in MK11, they just don't feel like how they did in MKX. While you can make your own custom variations, the problem is that not too many characters are too... Like, a lot of them feel really similar, like the way they move and all. I don't know, it's just me, but there's just something about it that... Yeah. But anyway, we don't get too many variation options, which are that great, and it's really limited anyway. So, that's definitely a minus. While we do have a great amount of maps, the maps are really good. I will give it that. It has a good amount of maps. My main problem with the game is, well, when it comes to content, is how incomplete it feels. The other two games feel complete. While we do get a good roster of 25 characters, it just didn't feel complete for me. I don't know why. I was like, just talking on the roster, feeling, man, I wish there was more to this. I really do wish there was more. And we're going to talk about the content. We do have Towers of Time, which is good, but it gets really, really repetitive. Like, it feels like a normal Towers, just with more frustrating. I'd rather just do a normal tower, to be honest. So yeah, you have that. Then you have normal towers, which I forgot to mention for the other two games. MK9 probably had the best tower, because it was like this cool mode or something, I forgot. So MK11, pretty generic towers, nothing too special. Then we have the crypt, which is probably the best crypt, but you're not going to go there to really find stuff. You're not going to get much value out of it other than just enjoying yourself there. Probably one of my favorite parts about the game. And then, is that all? And then we have the story mode. So, with the base game, you get one story mode. Right? But then that's about it. It's the size of NKX's story. In terms of how good the story is, that's a different topic. But, yeah, you get a story mode. So overall, that didn't feel so complete. Now maybe you're thinking, oh, for $60, this isn't so bad. But if you actually play the game, you look at it, it's really easy to be like, okay, what do I do now? Like, yeah, online is there, but I'm talking about different variety in the game. But the thing that annoys me the most is the DLC. So MKX's DLC was $30 the thing. So it's a $60 worth of DLC. But like I said, it isn't required to get all the DLC or any DLC. But MK11 takes it too far. For 6 characters, they're paying $40. $20 less than the actual game. So the actual game has 25 characters, and for 6 characters, you're charging $40. How does that make any sense? That was the first thing that kind of pulled me away, okay? Like, even in MKX, I don't like, for 4 characters, they charge 30. But it's better than charging 40 for 6, in my personal opinion. So, yeah, even though we get skins and all, it's just not worth it for me. It was not worth it, so that's why I got it when it came on a price drop for $25. But now, okay, maybe the game should feel complete by now. Like, if you get one DLC pack for MKX, it's complete. It feels complete. You don't need everything for it to feel complete. But that is where we're wrong, because after you get all these 6 characters, just something about the roster that doesn't feel so complete. Sure, you get a cool ton of skins, but it just doesn't feel complete. Like, there still feels a lack of content, new game modes, we didn't get any new maps. And that's when the biggest annoyment, the biggest thing that annoyed me, Aftermath came out. I was so excited for Aftermath, you don't know. We get 3 new characters, we get 3 new characters, we get 1 more story, and we get some free friendships and all that, which are great. They give us some free content, which I'm happy for the players who are not going to buy the expansions. However, but to me, I was excited for Aftermath. I pre-ordered it because of that cool skin pack. I could have waited a bit, but because of that one skin pack, I wanted that pack the day it released, because I needed those 3 skins. Only to realize that you could get them later on by just grinding in the game or buying them for a certain amount of money, which was a ripoff. However, let's talk about the price for Aftermath. $40. For 3 characters and 1 story mode, which you could literally watch on YouTube. Are you serious? So while I wouldn't say Aftermath was a disappointment, it sure wasn't worth the money in my opinion. And then, the worst part is $40 for Aftermath. $60 for the game, including Combat Pack 1 and Aftermath, because they didn't release a complete edition, which has Aftermath, the Combat Pack 1, and the full game. What? So, they're telling me, okay, you have to pay $40 for an expansion, you pay $20 more, you get everything else. What? How does that make sense? I do not get that. So that was okay, that annoyed me, that annoyed many other people, and I don't regret like purchasing $60 for MK11 just because Aftermath was not $60. It's the fact that they're pricing it wrong. Why is Aftermath 60 and why is the Aftermath bundle 60 while just Aftermath the expansion is 40? And honestly, the expansion was just worth like $20 or even less, I'd say. And then after having that roster, it still didn't feel complete. The story was still short as heck, and the game still did not feel complete. It still didn't feel complete. So I left the game. I am done with Mortal Kombat 11. And then they released a third combat pack, or a second combat pack, whatever you want to say, with 3 characters, and I was so happy. $15. $15. But now here is what annoyed me the most, okay? Alright, so $15 for new characters. Fantastic. Didn't they release a complete edition earlier though, called Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath? Won't many buyers say, oh, they released a complete edition, I've been waiting for this, I want all the characters, I don't want to spend single DLC money, I'll just spend extra and just get the full deal. Sold, and then they buy the game. And then to realize that there's another complete edition. That's false marketing in my opinion. I don't know how this makes sense to you guys, but for me, it's just false marketing. Like, you could have said, this is not the complete edition, or in some way you could have said there's still more to come to the game, implying that, okay, this isn't the complete edition. They never said there's more to come. In interviews and all, you're not gonna know. In the trailers, they could have said there's more to come. They never ever said that, and that just annoyed me. So, yeah, I'm done with Mortal Kombat 11, and if you could tell, the game still doesn't feel complete. It feels more complete with the Combat Pack 2 now, even though I didn't buy it, but, you know, it's just, I don't know, the game just feels incomplete. That's my main problem with it, and that's the main thing that I have. It's the marketing, the pricing, the content. The game still doesn't feel complete. So, in the end, I really enjoyed this game, but now I'm gonna compare this to a different fighting game that's not NRS. Okay, maybe NRS, Warner Brothers, or Mortal Kombat, they downgraded, whatever, they're getting more money grabby. Let's look at a modern game, Smash Ultimate, a roster of 72 characters, or something around that from start, okay? Immediately feels complete, instant complete. While the characters do feel similar, like there's a bunch of clones, you still have a good amount of characters that feel different enough where it's complete. You get, 100 and something maps? That's fantastic. Then you get a bunch of game modes, I don't know the name of them, and we're still getting DLC, but you don't need the DLC for the game to feel complete. That's how you make a game. While Mortal Kombat 11, it feels like they're just like, here, pay $60. Pay $60, you get a demo of this game, and then in a year, you're gonna get the complete edition. And I feel bad for the people that got premium edition as well, because they're expected to get everything. And again, that's false marketing. You think that you're gonna get everything, but you don't. That sucks as well. So in the end, I would have much rather had it where Mortal Kombat 11, they took their time to make the game. They took a little longer, and they released Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate as the first version of the game. Or they could have released Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, and Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate could have been the complete edition because, everyone loves their DLC. So, what's my final opinion? Mortal Kombat 11 is a great game, but I just stated my reasons on why I'm stopping Mortal Kombat 11. If you want to unsubscribe because I'm stopping, feel free to do so. I'm going to be uploading a bunch of Nintendo related, Mario and Zelda mostly, but still other stuff. I'll talk about a bunch. And maybe not just Nintendo, I'll talk about many games, honestly. But if you have any Mortal Kombat video ideas in mind, don't hold them to yourself. Still recommend them to me. I could make a video on it, but in the end, I'm not a Mortal Kombat channel anymore. And I don't want to be part of the community, which is something I didn't mention, which I'm going to mention now because my videos are unscripted. The community doesn't know what fun means. If I use a low tier character, they assume that I'm bad at the game. Or if I remember once I was fighting this dude, and I was using just many different characters, then he came on mic and said, dude, stick to one character, that's why you're so bad. Let me have fun. The community doesn't know what fun means. So yeah, just after that quick rant about the community as well. And overall, the game, I recommend it. If you don't have Mortal Kombat 11 yet, I definitely recommend it. So, yeah, it's definitely a must-buy. You should buy it, you should play it, but I'm just explaining why I'm stopping Mortal Kombat 11. It's a great game, but I'm just done with Mortal Kombat. Oh yeah, one more thing in this game that I forgot to mention is how grindy it feels. It just feels really, really grindy, and sometimes it's just unfun that way. Like, you want a skin, but you're just grinding for it, and in the end, you feel like you wasted time. Just thought I'd throw that in there.